Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. In today's video, we're driving into one of the most shocking valuable coin in British numismatic history. The British one-penny coin has a rich and continuous history, evolving through reigns of monarchs, shifts in metal composition, and major historical events. From the pre-decimal system, before 1971, to the decimalized version post-1971, it has remained an important denomination. The 1917 one-penny coin from the United Kingdom is a significant artifact in British numismatic history. Struck during the reign of King George V, this copper coin serves not only as a piece of monetary history, but also as a symbol of the British Empire during the height of World War I. Its design, composition, and circulation reflect the socio-political and economic conditions of the early 20th century. King George V ascended the throne in 1910, a period that would soon see global conflict. His reign witnessed the First World War, 1914 to 1918, the fall of empires, and the beginning of significant change in Britain's global stature. By 1917, the United Kingdom was fully immersed in the Great War. Economic resources were being heavily redirected toward the war effort, and this affected many aspects of daily life, including coin production. During the war, the Royal Mint faced increasing pressure to supply coinage amidst labor shortages, metal scarcity, and budgetary constraints. While the war led to cessation or reduction of many commemorative or high-value coins, everyday denominations like the penny continue to be struck to meet public demand. The 1917 one-penny coin was circulated extensively across the United Kingdom and the British Empire, including England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. British colonies and dominions, including Australia, New Zealand, India, South Africa, and Canada. As a common coin used in everyday transactions, it traveled extensively, reflecting the far-reaching influence of the British economy and monarchy during that era. Feature details reverse portrait of King George V facing left legend obverse. Georges Vide Jare, Brit, OMN, Rex FID, Def, IND, MP, George V, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India, reverse Britannia seated facing right, trident in hand, shield-bearing Union Jack designer obverse, Bertram McKinnell designer reverse, Leonard Charles Y material bronze 95% copper, for percent tin 1% zinc, weight 9.45 grams diameter 30.8 mmH plain minute at Royal Mint, London mintage approx. 144 million coins. The obverse bears a left-facing bust of King George V, reflecting the tradition of alternating the direction of the monarch's portrait. The Latin inscription is rich in symbolism. Dei Jure, by the grace of God, FID Def, Defender of the Faith, INDIMP, Emperor of India, a title abolished after Indian independence in 1947. The seated figure of Britannia symbolizes the strength, dignity, and maritime power of the United Kingdom. With her trident and shield, she also represents protection and control over the seas. Common. Many 1917 pennies entered circulation and show significant signs of wear due to extensive use. Condition. Graded typically from good G4 to very fine VF 20 to VF 30. Features. Flattened details, worn lettering, diminished facial features on the king. Rare. Uncirculated 1917 pennies are far less common. Condition. Graded from Mint State 60, MS 60 to MS 65 plus. Sharp edges and fully defined features. Lustrous, original surfaces. No signs of circulation wear. Grade estimated value GBP, good G, pound 1, pound 2 fine F, pound 3, pound 5 very fine VF, pound 6, pound 10 extremely fine EF, pound 15, pound 25 uncirculated MS, pound 50, pound 150 plus, depending on condition and luster. Note, coins with mint errors or in proof-like condition can fetch significantly higher prices. While there are no widely known major errors for the 1917 penny, collectors occasionally find die cracks, mis-strikes, double striking. These anomalies can significantly increase the value of a coin, depending on rarity and clarity of the error. The 1917 penny is particularly attractive to historical collectors, those interested in World War I era Britain. Monarchical collectors, featuring the portrait of George V. Date set builders, for completing a run of British pennies. Condition hunters, seeking mint state examples of common dates. It represents an accessible entry point for beginner collectors, while still holding interest for seasoned numismatists when found in high grades. If you own a 1917 penny, especially one in high grade, it should be stored properly to retain its value. Use acid-free holders, 2x2 cardboard flips, or capsules. Avoid cleaning, as this reduces numismatic value. Keep in a cool, dry environment, away from sunlight and moisture. The 1917 UK 1 penny coin is more than just a bronze disc. It is a tangible piece of history, a witness to World War I, a representation of the British Empire's global reach, and a cornerstone of early 20th century British coinage. Whether well-worn from a century of circulation or preserved in mint condition, each coin tells a story. For collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike, the 1917 penny is a reminder of a world both distant and foundational to modern Britain. The 1938 British 1 penny, featuring King George VI, is more than a mere unit of currency. It's a tangible piece of the United Kingdom's evolving narrative in the interwar and pre-World War II era. The year 1938 was a turbulent one. Europe teetered on the brink of war, with tensions escalating due to Hitler's expansionist policies. In the UK, the nation was under the rule of King George VI, who had unexpectedly ascended the throne in 1936 following the abdication of his brother, Edward VIII. George VI's reign was marked by steadfast leadership during World War II and a deep commitment to the Commonwealth. The issuance of the 1938 penny occurred during the early part of his reign, at a time when the British Empire still spanned the globe, but winds of change were blowing. Portrait. The obverse features a left-facing bust of King George VI. George of 6D, G, BR, OMN, Rex F laughing face, IND, imp, Latin 4. George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. This reflects Britain's imperial standing before India gained independence in 1947. The portrait was created by Thomas Humphrey Paget, a renowned medalist whose lifelike design set new standards for royal coinage. Design. The classic image of Britannia, helmeted and seated, facing right, trident in hand, shield resting at her side adorned with the Union Jack. Date. Below Britannia is the minting year, 1938. This reverse design had been a staple since the decimalization of British coinage in 1797 and remained until 1970. Denomination, 1 penny. Composition, bronze, 95.5% copper, 3% tin, 1.5% zinc. Weight, 9.4 grams. Diameter, 30.81 millimeters. Thickness, 1.6 mm. Edge, plain. This heavy, wide coin was designed to stand out and was an important part of everyday commerce. Mintage figure for 1938. Approximate 45.5 million coins. This was not a particularly rare mintage year, unlike certain dates, such as 1933, which is famously rare and often uncirculated or pattern-only. However, finding 1938 pennies in high-grade uncirculated UNC condition can be relatively uncommon, as most entered general circulation. Coins that were used in day-to-day transactions show signs of wear, smoothing on Britannia's gown, fading of George VI's hairline details, or loss of luster, maybe toned, scratched, or tarnished. These are coins that were never used in commerce. Retain original mint luster, crisp details on both obverse and reverse. Valuable to collectors, especially those in MS mint state. 60-plus grades according to numismatic grading standards. Though minted for the United Kingdom, the 1938 penny also saw widespread use across the British Empire, including Australia, India, South Africa, various African and Caribbean colonies. The presence of IND, IMP, Emperor of India, in the legend also demonstrates Britain's colonial status during this period. Condition estimated value, GBP. Notes poor/fair pound 0.05. Pound 0.20 worn. Common fine pound 0.50. Pound 1.00, some detail visible extremely fine. Pound 3.00. Pound 7.00, light wear. Good detail uncirculated. Pound 10. Pound 25 plus mint luster. Sharp features proof, if any. Pound 50 plus very rare. Presentation pieces. For collectors, the 1938 penny represents the early era of George VI's reign. Offers a window into pre-World War II Britain. Is an affordable historical piece for both new and experienced numismatists. Fits well in typesets, especially those illustrating monarchical transitions. Although not extremely rare, the 1938 penny is a relic of a bygone era, when a bronze coin could buy a newspaper or a loaf of bread. It carries echoes of imperial might, royal drama, and wartime resilience. For history enthusiasts, it is a link to the everyday life of British citizens on the cusp of global war. For collectors, it's an accessible piece of living history. The 1938 UK 1 penny is more than a monetary artifact. It's a compact symbol of monarchy, empire, design, tradition, and socio-economic history. Whether held in worn condition by millions or preserved in pristine mint state in a collector's album, it continues to echo with the stories of the past. Monarch. Queen Elizabeth II. Reign. She ascended the throne in 1952, and the 1963 penny was part of the pre-decimal coinage system. Era. This coin was minted in the early post-war period, during the era of industrial growth, the swinging 60s, and just before the decimalization reform of British currency in 1971. The Beatles released their debut album. The Profumo affair shook British politics. The Cold War was in full swing, influencing the global political climate. Country of origin: United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Circulation area: used throughout the British Isles and certain Commonwealth territories using British coinage. Mint: Royal Mint, Tower Hill, London at the time. Portrait: young laureate bust of Queen Elizabeth II. Designer: Mary Gillick, plus Elizabeth II de Grazia Regina, F.D. Translation: Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender the Faith. Design: Britannia seated facing right, holding trident and shield with Union Jack Leonard Charles Wyo. 1 penny. The date 1963 is below the image. Feature specification denomination 1, penny year 1963, metal composition bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin, diameter 30.81 mm, weight 9.4 grams, each plain mintage approx. 133,799,100 coins. The 1963 penny is a common coin, but collectors seek specimens in uncirculated or proof condition, especially with original luster or mint errors. Typical value: 10 pence to 1 pound GBP. Condition: heavily used wear on Britannia and Queen's features. Brilliant uncirculated, BU2 to 10 pounds GBP. Red-brown luster, high grade 15 pounds to 30 pounds plus. Proof coins, very rare for this year, may command 50 pounds plus if certified. Die errors, misstrikes, off-center strikes, or double letters. Mint luster, coins showing full red/original mint luster fetch higher prices. D mint mark. There is no official D mint mark for UK coins, possibly misunderstanding or referencing another coin. UK mint coins in this era had no mint mark. Be cautious of claims about a 1963 penny with a D, common in US coins like the Lincoln cent. This penny represents the last era of large, heavy bronze pennies before decimalization. The first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, used from 1953 to 1967, making it a desirable range for collectors. A link to the pre-decimal past of British currency, which changed fundamentally in 1971. Decimal day, February 15, 1971. The old penny 1D was withdrawn and replaced by the new penny 1p, 1/100 of a pound. The large bronze penny was demonetized and became obsolete, making older coins collectible. Handling: use cotton gloves to avoid fingerprints. Storage: store in acid-free holders, capsules, or albums. Environment: keep in cool, dry places away from direct sunlight and humidity. The 1963 UK one-penny coin is a charming piece of numismatic history, representing Britain's pre-decimal currency, Queen Elizabeth II's early reign, and traditional British symbolism through Britannia. While not exceedingly rare, it holds historical, educational, and collector value, especially in pristine condition. If you believe your coin has unusual characteristics, e.g., a D mark or min error, consider having it evaluated by a professional coin grading service, such as NGC or PCGS.